Hello everyone, and welcome to a brand new series that I'm calling DNA with me. So in this series I'm going to take you along with how I actually approach all my DNA research, my DNA analysis work. Now, this is the way I do it. So that doesn't follow that this is how every genetic genealogist works. This is just how I approach analysis. It's the way that I found that works best for me. Some of the steps you might think, well, why is she doing that? But I work in a very analytical way, and I find doing the process the way I do it basically means I can get work done much faster than if I was just, say, concentrate on one particular match and then see what I can find out about them. So here we go. If you have tested with Ancestry DNA, which is what we're going to be working with today, you will recognise this screen. So this is the main screen that you currently see as of October 2022 when you go into your DNA results for the first time. Now, at time of recording, Ancestry are rolling out a new feature. It's on some of my kits, it's not on all of them. And that new feature is by parent, which, as you can see, says beta next to it. Now, I'm just going to show you what that looks like. So when you click that button, it will kind of allow you to see which matches are from the first parent and which matches are from the second parent. And then it's got both sides or unassigned. So you can see it says pending update. That's a bit unclear to me why they're unassigned, because from what I know, I can see at least one person just in those screenshots of matches that they definitely should be able to assign. But I'm not going to worry about it, because you know what? At the moment, I'm not going to use this tool. Literally, this was unveiled to me yesterday, so I have not yet had a chance to play with it. And so what I'm going to do is show you the way I work as it stands at the moment. And to be honest, it's probably the way I will continue to work, because I like to do things myself a little bit. And at the moment, it's not assigning things. So, yes. And the other reason is because many people do not have this by parent thing unveiled to them yet. As you can see, it's still in beta, as I said earlier, and I just think it's more helpful to know what you should do if you don't have that feature, and if you're looking at your DNA results for the first time. Sorry, that was all a bit waffly, but I hope you know what I meant there. So, I have clicked to go in to actually look at my DNA matches. Actually, not me, this is my mother's DNA matches. So I thought it would be useful for me to do this DNA with me exercise working alongside the family tree verification project that I'm doing on my maternal side. So you can see up here it says View Maternal Line Family Tree Verification Project 1. That's because I've linked these DNA test results to that tree. So that is because if I just flip back, because I've linked the DNA test results to my kit, or my family tree, my maternal side family tree, this thing here called Through Lines, that's going to do some work for us as we continue on this experiment. So we're going to leave that for now. I'll probably come back to look at Through Lines with you at a future date. So right now we're just going to be working with DNA matches. Now, I do suggest when you look at your DNA matches for the first time, you do kind of have a scroll through and look who's certainly in the top section. These are all the closest people in the DNA database that share DNA with you. So it can be useful for you to just look at, because you might see some names that make sense to you. For instance, if you watched my can't even say the word, Genealogy with me video that I did earlier. You may remember that the name Ryle popped up. You may remember that Coma was the name. So I can see that they are probably going to fit in fairly easily for me. But right now at the start, I'm actually not going to look at any individual matches. I'm going to jump straight to grouping my matches. And this is the first thing I do for every single client. And bear in mind, a lot of my clients are either adoptees or there's a kind of almost a foundling situation and they don't really know who they are. So there is very little to kind of hang your hat on, as I like to say. So you may literally not know anything about their parentage, or you might look at matches and not spot anything familiar at all. So this is why I approach all my cases in the same way. And the first thing I do is I'll click into the top match and I'll start grouping my matches. So we're going to do that exercise now. So first of all, I create a group. If I can instantly see that it's paternal or maternal side, I might add that information in. I do here, his name is Ryle, that's my father's side, so I'm confident in saying paternal, group 1. And it's definitely very interesting to me that Ancestry hasn't been able to assign him to a parent side, given that it should be fairly easy for them to do that. But it's a brand new tool, it's in beta. Yeah, I'm going to cut them some slack. Okay. Now when you create a group, it doesn't automatically allocate that match to that group. I don't know why, it seems a bit strange to me, but hey, it is what it is. So I've allocated this person blue. And what I'm going to now do is go through and every single match in this list, I'm going to allocate them blue as well. Unfortunately, there isn't a select all button at the top. I really wish there was. Ancestry should definitely add that in. So I'm just going to manually click into each of these and then I can add them as a group to blue. Okay, that's done. Now if we go back and look at the main match page, you can see that those blue dots are now reflected throughout the matches. So what I'm going to do next is basically go down to the next match that does not have a blue dot. So that is this match here. So I'm going to do the same exercise again. I'm going to create a new group. This time I don't know how this person connects. So we're just going to say group 2. And again, we're going to do the same thing. Not so many to colour in there. And basically, I'm going to keep doing that same thing again and again and again. So let's whiz through that. Now this is an interesting one. So this match here, she doesn't have a dot, but when we click into her, we can see that she shares with this lady who we've just literally applied an orange dot to. So for the moment, I'm going to assume that she probably is in that group. It's a really small group. There's only one other person in it. So that's what I do when it looks like there is some crossover. And another thing I do where a colour is a little bit too close for me to differentiate clearly, I will go ahead and not use the colour that they suggest for me. Here we have a couple of blues, so I'm going to probably add her to the blue group. One thing I would say, you can see I'm adding this person to blue because I can see one person in the group is blue. None of these have dots, but that's because they're all really quite distant matches. But I'm fairly confident because I know obviously my mother's genealogy, I know that there's very little kind of intermarrying between different communities. Geographically, there's not much that's the same when you get, a couple of generations out. So I'm confident that the matches are unlikely to be related to each other in more than one way. If I had, say, Ashkenazi Jewish ancestors in my tree, I wouldn't probably be so confident to add other matches to a group. And if I'm seeing that a lot of dots seem to cross over, like if I go into a match, say, for example, this person, I could see they maybe I'd already coloured them yellow, or I'd already coloured them green, or I'm seeing lots of different colours in the same shared matches, then I might think, it looks like there might be quite a lot of crossover here. So I might be a bit more hesitant about doing this grouping project for those kinds of matches. As I said, that's not something I have to worry about in this particular tree, but in a tree that's not familiar to me, I would maybe pause for thought before adding all these groups. And in that situation, I might just concentrate on the very top matches. But the truth is, I'm not going to know if that's a situation without kind of trying to do this exercise. And if you're wondering why some of the people don't like him, the person we've just done, his shared matches all have blue dots against them. He did not have a blue dot. You might be wondering why that is. And it's simply because I used not this person, but a different person to create this blue group initially. This person and the person I used to create the groups are cousins. I know that because I know who they are. And it just so happens that she didn't inherit the same bits of DNA as the other person. So let's say we'll call her Sue and the other person we'll call George. So George didn't happen to inherit the bit of DNA that Daniel did from their common ancestors. This person, Sue, and this person obviously did. I hope that makes some sense. So this match, we've just looked at this match. She doesn't have any DNA shared with anyone else. And to be honest, at this point, I'm probably going to stop. I would probably go down to this match, but we're really getting to quite distant matches now. So we may find that there's not really, see, no shared matches there. Let's have a quick look at him. They actually look to be closely related to each other. If we have that one. And this is the last match above 30 centimorgans. Now, if I had a huge amount of matches to work with, I probably would have stopped this exercise around 50 centimorgans. My mum does not have that many matches, and that's kind of typical for the area that she's from. So I've gone a bit deeper. I've gone down to 30 matches above 30 centimorgans. So we've ended up with, so we've got 9 groups in total, of which the biggest is this group 1. And then the others are going to make up different groups. So that's literally all I do as soon as I look at a DNA match, is I just get those coloured dots down. And then in the next video I do on this DNA with Me project, I'll show you what I then do with these groups to start working with them. But that's it for today. I hope that was somewhat informative. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments below. If you use maybe these dots in a different way, let me know what you do. Or if you just really don't get the dots at all, let me know that too. Then that way I can kind of tailor these sessions as to what I show you. All right, thank you. Have a good day.